Hi everyone and welcome to Topic 5. Topic 5 is going to be focused on consumer behavior. And when we look at consumer behavior, we're going to be looking at the role of utility. Now, with consumer behavior, I'm going to go through a couple different concepts with you. If you have any trouble with these concepts, please let me know, as I'm more than willing to assist. But what we're looking at is a very applicable subject. We're looking at what a consumer is able to spend given their limited budget. So this is a budget constraint. Given my budget of whatever it is, I can buy 500 Pepsis. So my budget, the price of Pepsis is $1. So I can buy 500 Pepsis. With my budget of $500, pizza's $5. I can buy 100 slices of pizza. Now, what we look at with this is we're looking at an indifference curve. Indifference curve is going to be looking at the consumption between two goods. Let me get to the role of utility. There we are. If we look at indifference curves are going to be focused on our happiness to consume goods and services. So if we look at this graph, the happiness is right here. This I2, that's our happiness. We always like a higher indifference curve compared to a lower one. Here's our budget line right here. Now, where they intersect, or where they're tangent, is where we should focus on our consumption. We cannot obtain I3 because our budget line does not intersect that. So we might have consumption that's much higher than that, but we can't consume at this level because of our budget line. Now let's look at some of the questions that you might find for topic 5 when we look at indifference curves. Now, when the price of a shirt falls, this is going back to the quantity demanded. So if the price of a shirt falls, quantity demanded will change. Look at the law of demand. Left gloves and right gloves are a good example of what type of instance, and that's a good example that you'd have to focus on. Question 3 is looking at this figure, and they're asking you which of the following graphs may represent indifference curves. So look back at our analysis and look which one would be an indifference curve. Question 4, given the budget constraint depicted above, the consumer will choose what bundle? So A, B, C, D, or E. Which bundle will they choose? A rational consumer maximizes what? What does a rational consumer maximize? Inferior good is one in which, when our income increases, we decrease the consumption of, or we decrease our buying of this good. Or if our income decreases, we increase our consumption or buying of this good. A given good is something that when there's an increase in price, we actually demand more of the good. Question 8 is looking at when a consumer spends less time enjoying leisure and more time working, they're looking at the trade-off between those two. Question 9, Ken consumes two goods, Sprite and potato chips. You're going to look at where should they consume given their resources when you look at marginal utility. So you have to divide marginal utility by the price of the good. And where do they equal? So marginal utility over P of potato chips equals the same with Sprite. And question 10, what are the two effects of a change in the price that consumers experience? This is looking at the income and substitution effect. So those are the questions you're going to see for topic 5. You get one attempt, and make sure to save your answers as you go.